They have to make some moves, though, because the West is so much better now. We're seeing it already with Phoenix and the Clippers, and we haven't even talked about Utah and Denver when Jamal Murray gets back. And so, and then the big three out here back east. And so we have to get better, and they got to get some shooters to surround AD and LeBron with, because Danny Green, that move hurt us. Rondo, that move hurt us because those guys brought something that we don't have anymore, right? Danny Green could shoot from the three-point line. Rondo with his basketball IQ and also be able to create shots for his teammates. Dwight Howard closing down the middle. So we miss those guys. So Rob Pelinka just got to bring some shooters, help AD, help LeBron, space the court, and I think the Lakers will be fine.
One of the big question marks about Anthony Davis, or about the Lakers in general, is Anthony Davis and his inability to stay healthy. No one questions his brilliance as a player. When healthy, he's an MVP caliber player. But how do you handle him during a season in which, I mean, we hate the words load management on this show, and everyone hates them, but the reality is you need him to be healthy at the end of the year, and it doesn't always happen. How do you handle it?
Well, Greeny, you're right. First, he got to change what he's been doing over the summer. And I think he's got to get somebody to stretch him. He also probably got to work with a physical therapist to make sure all the injuries that he had this past season, he's over those injuries, and it can help him during the season next season, right? And then for the Lakers, I would say yes, not load management as much, but make sure you watch how many minutes you're playing, watch back-to-back games, because he is injury prone. Before he got to the Lakers, he used to get injuries with the Pelicans. So we know that. The main thing for the Lakers is we just can't depend on those two guys anymore. We need a third scorer. We need somebody who can get us 15 to 18 points every single game. And that's where Rob Pelinka got to make a deal, or he's got to draft somebody who can do that.
So who is that? What is that move? If you're making that move, what is the one move that could put LeBron back over the top?
Well, what I'm understanding right now, because I haven't talked to Rob or Jeannie about this, I know Kyle Kuzma, who played great before those guys got there, he needs to be a second scorer on a team, right? And I think he can actually do that.
Can I just interject? Someone has just entered the room. This is about to be fascinating. The great Stephen A. Smith has just made his way.
Look at him strolling, too.
Stephen A. is here. He doesn't have a microphone on, I'm being told. But you know what? With Steve, you can hear him anyway. So it does.
I lean on magic. I'm leaning on magic.
So I told him, you said the Lakers championship window is closed. He doesn't believe it.
Well, listen, it's very rare that I disagree. Here we go. Thank you so much. It's very rare that I disagree because, after all, this is magic that we're talking about. I mean, it's presently constructed. This team, their championship window, they did something Magic and the Lakers never did. They won the championship. They were feeling themselves. They were walking around as champions. I'm not talking about LeBron, because we know he takes care of himself physically. But there's a lot of dudes out there that didn't commit themselves to defending the crown they had earned. And as a result, you got all of these teams on a come-up. They are what they are. As presently constructed, their window is closed. Now, if they go out and get somebody like Dame Dollar or Damian Lillard or something, that would be different.
Is that on the list of options?
I don't think so. Yeah. It'd be nice, but I don't know if they could do it.
Yeah, what do you think? I think it's tough to pull off that trade because you need assets to do that. I think there's players out there that can help the Lakers. Rob's just got to find out who that guy is. But Laker fans, we gave them a pass, right? We said, hey, they won the championship last year. We gave them a pass this season. But after that, no passes. They got to come through. They got to play well. But he was right. Sometimes when you win a championship, you don't work as hard over the summer. You don't look to improve. You don't look to get better. And I think that happened to the Lakers. But I think losing in the first round, losing to the Suns the way they did, they're going to come back and be ready.
Especially in cities like L.A., there are very many distractions. And so as a result of that, you have to maintain focus. And it's easy to be distracted, and that happens. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. So Stephen A. is just getting warmed up because they're going across the hall to do First Take in a minute. But let me ask you the question, because Magic Johnson is not willing to say that right now Kevin Durant is the best player in the world. He says that is still LeBron's crown to hang on to. I don't want to misquote you, right? That's what you just said.
Right.
Who's the best player in the world?
I think it's KD. I think Kevin Durant. But here's what I will say. Magic Johnson, and it's not just because of his resume, the style of player that he was in terms of literally predicating his success, not just on what he was capable of doing, but what he peeled from people around him. That's why Magic would say that about LeBron. Makes perfect sense. I'm a scorer. I'm about putting the ball in the hole, okay? And when I look at KD, who has averaged the same amount of points as LeBron throughout his career, 27 points per game, all right, around the same rebounds, considering the shooting percentage from the perimeter, LeBron is a career 73% free throw shooter. Over the last 3 years, he has shot less than 70% from the free throw line. Kevin Durant is 85 plus. The brother is a marksman extraordinaire.
No
and
question.
when I look at it from that perspective, I just think offensively there are levels to this, and LeBron ain't on that level. It's no knock against LeBron. It speaks to the level of eliteness that Kevin Durant has. He's one player that could possibly catch Kareem.
But I said that, though, right?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Nobody's going to be
Right.
Kevin Durant at that scoring. But LeBron getting everybody involved, making his teammates better. But the good thing is, it's always next season, and we're going to see. Because who's going to win the championship is going to now say, okay, that's the guy now, right? If Kevin Durant leads Brooklyn, then it's his league from here on out. If LeBron leads the Lakers, then he's going to still be the man. So we got to look and see what happens.
You talk about getting up in the morning. Not only do you have Magic, but you got Magic with Stephen A. Lord.
I'll see you in a minute.
Stephen A. across the hall. Magic is on his way there again. He does KJZ today over here and then doing First Take right off the top of their show. Thank you, Stephen A. And thank you. One more thing,
okay,
as I have to let you go. So, and then there were 4, and none of them have KD, and none of them have LeBron. You've got Phoenix. You've got the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Milwaukee and Atlanta. It took me a second to put it all together in my head.
Right.
Who's going to win?
I want Chris Paul and the Suns to win, but I think Milwaukee is going to win. I think it's Giannis's turn.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.